Greetings everyone, this is Tony Holowitz and I want to give you just a brief overview of the menu bar in ACT. And the menu bar is what I'm referring to up here on the top. Now you'll use this for different reasons. A lot of times you'll use it to do a lookup or to work with contacts or maybe to schedule something. There's a lot of other ways to get to this information, but I just want to give you a quick overview and tell you what some of these things do. I'm going to click on Edit to start. In this area, and I urge you to be careful in this area because you can sort of overwrite or mess up information if you don't do it right. But what you can do with this is, let's say you want to replace a field. Let's say you have a field, for example, the ID status field, and you want to change the wording or the content of that field for every contact in your ACT database. Well, you could do that. You could do it for just a lookup or an individual contact. Frankly, it wouldn't make sense to do it for an individual contact, but you can replace fields. You can swap a field, swap A with B. You can copy a field. So if you want to copy everything from one field to another, you can do that as well. So there's some options here. I just always say be careful with this. Next is the lookup area. Here you can go to the My Record, which is your contact information. Here are some of the more common things you'll look up, a first name, a last name. If the thing you want to look up, let's say you have a field in ACT, as you'll notice over here, there's a referred by field. Using that as an example, if you don't see it on this list, and you can scroll down a little bit, you can click on Other Fields. And when you click on Other Fields, this drop down here is all the fields in your ACT database. A little trick is when you click on something, if you want to jump to something, say something that begins with the letter D, if I press the letter D, it will jump down to the first thing that begins with the letter D. So if you have a long list and you know what you're looking for, click on the item, click the first letter, and it will jump down to that list view item with that letter. Just a little trick. So that's what you can do here. I'm going to click cancel. So we've got lookup. Let's go to contacts. Here's where I often will go to add a new contact. You can also duplicate a contact in a couple different ways. You can add a note, a history, and again, there's shortcuts to get to other things here. It's funny, when you use ACT for a long time, as I have, there are some things you do in a certain way, and you never touch some of these areas. But come in and just take a look at these, look around a little bit, and you might be interested in some of the things you can do. Schedule. How do you schedule? Well, you can schedule a call, meeting, or to-do. There's some things called an activity series and different activity types. You can grant out calendar access to different people so they can see your calendar. So these are some of the options in here. When you go to write, you can write an email message, a letter, a memo. There's documents you can do in here. You can integrate this with Microsoft Word, but to be honest, so much of what we do these days is related to emails that it's rare when I really work with people to do Word documents these days, ACT in general. Next, I want to take a look at reports. Here are some reports, all kinds of different reports, and reports are only as good as the information you have in ACT. So I've never been a huge reports person because I think one of the concepts of report is who do you report on? And unfortunately, reports are something that are visual or something you can print and they're not actionable. So you can sort of see them, might be nice to have them, but there's not a way that you can really take action on those. And I've always been a fan of groups versus reports because it groups together people you want to report on, but it allows you to take action. So just a thought there. Tools, there's some things in here. Define fields is how you create a new field in ACT. I wish they called this create a field. They didn't. Design layouts is how you can add different content to a layout. You can manage users in the database. There's different types of maintenance you can do. You can import, you can export, you can integrate with Google and Outlook. Having said that, these integrations are something that I do not recommend because it can create issues. There's preferences in here that you can get into that I showed you in a previous video. The first three things I wanted you to do. Different things in here you can take a look at. I'm going to close this. And the last thing is custom tables. And what custom tables is an area of ACT that you can add to ACT. It's something you have to pay extra for. But the best way to describe custom tables is if you keep a lot of data about a contact, like data that normally you'd want to put in an Excel-like spreadsheet, that's what a custom table is or could be. So when you get to that point, definitely reach back to me. But go in and explore some of these things, take a look at them, and it will just give you a sense of some of the things you can do with inside of Act. Okay, my friends, thank you very much. You have a great day. Bye now.